Hello there.
It's your old pal Dish, and today you're gonna slap that fucking like button and subscribe immediately! For today's video, I interviewed Pluffnub for my podcast called The Secret Formula. Pluff is a YouTuber and a musician.
Cause she's ripped it 10 times or more, so it's about to be ripped again. As I ask you to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the man.
Yo, I'm smoking so much weed, and today I say, man, this is me, and I can't say it enough that I can't be you and the me. And today I've gotten the money and the drug bust, and you smoke some weed, and getting the today, and we're fucking in the yes.
For today's podcast, we'll be going into topics such as balancing a full-time job with his YouTube career and what his future endeavors are for him as a musician. You are required to click all the links down below to support Pluffnub.
I have spoken.
You've seen him on America's Got Talent. He's been playing guitar for 32 years, and he's been in the music industry for 23 years, ghostwriting for Coldplay and Nickelback. Welcome to the podcast, Pluffnub.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, you did some digging on that one.
A little bit, yeah. I watched a couple of your videos, man. But it's kind of, it's a bit nostalgic for me because I've been following your channel since pretty much you started.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. I appreciate that. Oh my god, that caught me totally off guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic. Oh, man.
I think the video I connected with you on the most was probably the one where you were really personal about it, and you were speaking about burnout. And you were like, yeah, like some of my videos, I feel as though I was putting out content for the sake of putting out content. Yeah. You were saying that you needed to take a break because you needed to get more of balance in your life and kind of try to manage being a YouTuber and obviously having your personal life and such. Do you feel as though you've kind of got it down to a T, or you're still...
Yeah, it's kind of tough because it's like one of those things where it's just like you totally have like your ambition on what it is that you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still got to kind of, until you make it to that point, you still have to, do the day job and kind of all that stuff, to survive basically.
Yeah, of course.
So I feel like I'm starting to find a better balance. Like I know I made a post about it at the start of this year where it's like, all right, I've been super inconsistent with my schedule, but it's like for all of 2021, I'm putting out a video every single week. So I think a lot of it had to do with finding a schedule that works for you, because working full time.
Yeah.
And then, which is draining.
It totally is. Yes.
Yeah. And then, but trying to, again, kind of having to, use your free time wisely, I guess, to a certain degree. And it's just like, usually whenever I get home from work, it's spending a little bit of time, like, sacrifice a little bit of that leisure time that you have just to get like, some work done basically. So by the time when the weekend shows up, you're kind of as prepared as you can be, despite what I literally just said of not being prepared too often.
Right.
Yeah, but also a lot of it had to do with the fact too, it's just like, I'm not super comfortable recording with like, roommates or other people around.
I totally relate to that shit, man. Yeah. All the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of it had to do with kind of, again, getting a place of my own and, not having to necessarily worry about, who I might be bothering with all the unpleasant noises that I'm making or whatever. So I feel like it was a lot of a time and a burnout thing, but I feel like at the same time too, it's kind of like now that I've got a space of my own and I can dedicate, that the little bit of free time that I do have, on the weekends and whatnot, if I can just, crank out a video within 2 days, it's just like, who's here to stop me basically. I don't have somebody, who I have to worry about, it's like, all right, I'm going to be getting up at this time. This person's done at work at like, 5 o'clock, I got to make
Yeah.
sure, that, I don't have my camera set up, and, I don't have the green screen and the lights everywhere or anything like that. So it's like, when I feel like having that, even though it's just like, you don't have as much time as you would like to actually work on like these sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like since you don't have to worry about other people during those free moments that you have,
Yeah.
you can use them as productively as you want, pretty much. So again, it's a lot of just time management and just make do with the time that you've got, even though, again, sometimes, you're working 8 hours at a real job, and then you have to work 8 hours that same day on, whatever project you're working on to make a 16-hour work day. It's just
Totally.
like, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, man, to make it work. And especially too, if this is like, the kind of thing that you want to do as a career, you gotta make some sacrifices along the way, and it's a grind. But it's like, if it weren't for the fact that it's like you enjoy doing it and it's rewarding at the end of it, then it's just like, to me, it's just like that makes it worth doing, even if the burnout is totally a real thing.
Yeah, dude, I totally fucking agree. I mean, like, half the time when I'm trying to set up in, like, my kitchen and stuff, like, the dog's walking around. He's, like, you hear his little footsteps coming by, and my girlfriend's trying to do stuff as well. And, yeah, I totally get it, man. Like, I personally am jealous because it'd be nice to have just, like, an area just to, like, edit and, like, film, shoot all that. And this is, like, this fucking backdrop is taking up, like, nearly half my fucking bedroom,
Oh yeah. It's I feel like you gotta go through those stages every now and again, just like, because it was like that for me too. It's like for a lot of the earlier videos I had, like when I was still living at home, it's just like, I had to set up the green screen in like my mom's living room, basically.
Totally.
So it's just like, so it's just, that's what I mean. You kind of just got to do what you got to do sometimes to make it work.
Yeah, and also I guess we'll talk about that the Empire Strikes Back video you made with your buddies, bro.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because I think I was talking with you earlier about this, but I'm like literally basically making a video just like that. Like it's like it's like the same shit. And the premise is like Vader goes on vacation,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We're gonna have some like special effects makeup done, get like Darth Maul in there, fucking Emperor Palpatine.
That sounds awesome.
I'm trying. We'll see, dude. Like my expectations are just like we'll see how it goes. And that's the thing too. People don't really understand that about YouTubers is the fact. I'm not as far in as you are, but I totally get the fact that you learn as you fucking go, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, God, like I didn't expect to be like an audio engineer, I had no idea. But by the end of the year, I'm getting closer to it. And it's like the same shit like you do with like Audacity, where like you're basically like taking stems and like.
See, I feel like all my credibility is gone when like, I've been at this for like 5 years and I'm still fucking using Audacity for half my shit. It's like, I've got Cubase recently, but it's just like but it's like I don't know how to work the thing. It's so complex.
Yes.
And it's like I'm the kind of guy, unfortunately, where I'm just like, you know what? I'm going for the best. Like, top tier stuff. So it's like I got Cubase. I got, like $1,000 worth of VSTs and plugins and shit. And it's like, do you think I know how to use any of it? Of course not. And it's just like, you know what? I'll get it. I'll learn along the way. And I got all this stuff like 6 months ago, and I'm still just like, I don't know what I'm looking at half the time. I kind of just fiddle around with shit. But I feel like too, though, to a certain degree, I got lucky with the kind of stuff that my channel is, because like I can kind of get away with half-assing it and not really, it doesn't have to sound good, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of lucked out on that element, but
in a sense, like, okay, so the thing about your channel is like you actually put effort in. Because there's this video I watched, like it's obvious, you do care about what you do. It's just like you're going out of your way to make certain aspects of it like, memeable. That's how I look at it. I think this shit's funny as fuck. And there's this one where like it's your second channel and you're like standing in front of the camera and like you're basically just like every movement you make, you're like, like I don't like the way that shot turned out. Or I said that weird, or I did this, I did that. Yeah, dude. I'm just relating to you a lot.
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I feel like, oh my God, because like I want to start putting out just compilations of all like the takes where I fuck up basically, which is like literally 90% of them, like we were talking about before recording. So it's like I would just love it just to kind of I guess kind of own that part of yourself a little bit and just
Totally.
like, you know what, just put it out there for a laugh. It's just like, just don't take yourself too seriously basically. And just like, because I put out a video on my second channel of me like just trying to, back when I had a Patreon, it's just like me trying to make an announcement video.
Oh.
But it was like 2 minutes of me just fumbling my words, not being able to talk like a normal human being. And just like, yeah, it's, I mean, I totally get what you're saying too. Like just when like I'm editing, I'm just like, I don't know, you said that one kind of weird, or, it's just like your body language is kind of strange. Like it's almost like you're over analyzing it.
Totally.
So it's just like, that's what I mean. So that's why I say it's just like, and like you were saying too, it's just like if there's kind of a part in the raw take that you're like, I don't really like how that was done, you kind of just fix it up with effects or like do something in post afterwards. Like seriously, editing is my saving grace. It's just like, yeah, I'll watch back on my raw footage and just be like, oh wow, you are a very awkward individual. And then just like you throw some jazz music on in the background, and it's like, hey, it's not so bad. So I mean, it's a saving grace, really.
Dude, I mean, me, like, personally, like, I'm super fucking awkward, in person. Like, I don't know. Like, I was always pretty shy, and when I was a kid, I was more like kind of a dick. I was always kind of like teasing people and shit. And then as I got older, I was like, man, like, I regret a lot for sure, And it seems like over time, after getting my ass beat like 6 different times, I kind of learned that, like, oh, like, people are out to get you, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So there was also this tweet you put out. It said that you're talking about your band. And you said your band played a gig this past Sunday. And this was obviously before COVID.
Yeah.
Our guitarist forgot to change tunings in between one of our songs. So that entire song sounded like one of my videos. This is what I call irony.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that is people don't get that you fucking play guitar. I think they think you just pick up a guitar and just fucking strum it and detune it and all that. So since you've gotten Cubase and such, man, have you been like working on any projects on there? Like, have you any ideas, some metal stuff, or?
Yes and no. It's a lot of it is kind of just like stuff that's in the ideas phase, because in one of my videos where it's like the first video I did where I just made like a stupid song and then just got people to review it, and kind of the alter ego that I decided to make for that song, the Baldwin von Remortel character. It's just like, for some reason, a lot of people liked this stupid joke song that I made. So through that, it kind of unintentionally spawned a side project to a certain degree. So it's like right now I've kind of, and I'm so unfocused when it comes to like writing music and stuff like that. So it's like, it's all like metal based for sure. But it's like, kind of what realm does it fall into? Because there's like so many subcategories and things like that out there. But just like right now, it's kind of like, if I'm like, all right, let's come and write something. It's like, I really don't know. So it's like, as soon as like it comes out, I'm just like, okay, what does that sound like? What box does that fit in almost? Like, what kind of subgenre should that be in? So it's kind of like, I've got like a folder for just like, weird instrumental avant-garde stuff. I've got like a folder for prog stuff, and just kind of just like everything across the board. That's kind of what I would like to do with it, is kind of like have every release kind of be in a different like kind of world of its own. Because I can't focus on one sound for too long.
Me neither.
So it's just kind of like I'd like every release to be different, just so it's interesting for me and for, I don't know who would listen to it, but it's just like if there's anyone out there that would want to listen to it, then it's just like try and change it up enough so it stays interesting, but still somehow try and keep it coherent to a certain degree. So right now that's kind of all I've been working on in terms of like legit music stuff.
Yeah.
But I have no idea when that's going to come around, because it's just like it's in the long list of things that I would like to get done. But yeah, just the daily grind of, real life and everything else. It's just like it kind of puts it on the back burner. But it's like it's definitely something that I would like to put out eventually. So we'll see what happens at some day in the future. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, man. Gosh, dude.
I was going to say, I was actually going through some of your videos, and I kind of backtraced to some old channels that you had, and I've seen some videos of you playing and stuff like that.
Oh,
so I was wondering if you, yeah, it's like, there's one, I forget what it was. The song I think was called Tristan.
Oh,
Is that
wow.
correct?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I named it.
I was going to say, I watched that, and I was like, he's got some really good stage presence.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that was probably when I was a little bit more of an egomaniac, but
Oh, yeah?
yeah, that was when I was like in my teenage years, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be like the next Slayer, or, the next Animals as leaders or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. I just really realistically just needed to have fun with it. But yeah, dude, I appreciate that. It was called Tristan because my teacher's sister, I think she got in a car accident, and she was like a big metal fan. I was like, oh, I guess we'll just like, name the song after her for sure. And we did that show to raise money for a venue, actually. It was my senior project.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
wow.
really stoked on that, man. That's probably the pinnacle of my playing. I think I'll just leave it at that. I haven't really done a lot of metal stuff lately besides that. Like, I've been working on a lot of like bluegrass stuff as a living.
Right, yeah.
Kind of just like jokey songs. Like, do you know who Bloodhound Gang is? They're Blink-182-esque. Like, they're kind of like funny rock stuff sometimes.
Okay, I got the idea. Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to do like a Bloodhound Gang meets a Rush kind of sound, which is ridiculous. Wow. It's exaggerated because I kind of wanted it to be a little proggy. That's just how I play.
Yeah.
Like, I like complex music. That's my thing.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
The more layers it has, the more ear candy it is to me. Like Gojira, obviously. Like, you're super into them as well. Like, that's one of my favorite bands, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing music for a long time. I actually went through like a little rap career. Obviously, you did too. You did some rapping. You gonna release any more, man? I want to see some of that shit.
I don't know. I saw your comment on there, and I'm just like, another weird side project. It's like, all right, well, now I feel like I gotta do it at some point. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But at that moment, I was just like, yeah, that's all the rapping I'm going to be doing in the nearby future. That was like my peak skill level right there.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. So it's like, yeah, I'll just kind of stick to, writing, again, more Gojira-esque stuff because that's more my territory.
Yeah, me too. I found that out too. Like, so my buddies were like doing a lot of like hip hop stuff. And I grew up like just bullshitting, like freestyling with my buddies, like on the way to the bus stop and stuff. Like, it was something I did. And then, like, I actually tried doing it, and I was like, whoa, like, this is not for me, Like, I'm a fan of it, but it's not something I should be doing. Like, I'd rather make, like, beats for it, like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or, just instrumentals or something. That's just more where I am. I personally, like, as far as being a vocalist goes, dude, like, every fucking time I've gone and tried to work with a producer, like, I always choke up. I'm like, I can't fucking sing. Every time. Yeah. It's like the opposite of that American Idol video you did, the Bowie one. This is the complete opposite of that. It seemed like you were recording that in your apartment or something. Just it's hilarious, bro.
That was because what was going on with that one? I know, because that's, I mean, like, so many when it comes to like the audio sounding like shit. Like, not from a point of like, oh, these notes clash, but I mean, like, from the terms of like, oh, your vocals, they don't sound like they were recorded well. That is because they were legitimately not recorded well. It's like, I know there was one comment, it may have even been on that video, where it's just like, I like how it sounds like he was recording the vocals from his balcony and left the microphone in the living room and said that's good enough. And like that was me trying. Like, I don't even know what I added to it. Yeah, but it was kind of like, I did it kind of like, how I'm doing right now, just kind of sitting in front of the microphone doing what I do.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, whenever I, say this, letter, when you say like the P sound, you get like the pop in the mic or something like that.
Yeah. The
So
de-esser.
So I was trying to just figure out like a lot of post-production stuff. So it's just like, usually whenever something like that goes horribly wrong, that's usually the result of me just trying to figure it out, just like with equalization, compressors, and I'm probably putting. I don't understand this stuff at all. I just go by ear, and I don't trust my ear half the time either. So it's like, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's like I get to the point where I'm just like, it's good enough.
Yeah,
like,
totally, dude. Like, I understand that with mixing for sure. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, I got good speakers now, but still, like, I can listen to it like 8 times and be like, I don't fucking know. Like, I can't tell. Like, am I missing something? Is the bass too low? Is the fucking drums too high? Like,
That's what I mean. I'm the same, especially when it comes to like, because I would love to just like record like covers that like sound awful, like again from like a musical standpoint. But I would love the quality of the recording to be top notch. I think that would be the best thing ever. It's just kind of like the only way I can kind of get that dream out a little bit, because like whenever I want to go and record like real music, I want to offer like I'm gonna actually go to a studio and like get people that know what they're doing to take care of all the technical stuff. But I would love to just have a bonus version where it's just like I get all the stems and I just like tweak something slightly, make the guitar out of tune or the vocals slightly out of tune or something like that. So it's a professional sounding recording, but it still just sounds horrible. And I'm just like, you know what? In like 3 to 5 years time, if I can get that done, I would have come full circle and I can totally quit completely.
Oh yeah. That's Pluffnub in a fucking nutshell, man. That's like that's exactly how to explain your content for sure. It's like I've yet to find any YouTuber that does the same stuff you do. You know, you actually are like in an own lane of what you do. And
totally by accident.
I was curious as to like you were talking about your Patreon. What happened with that? You said you started it up and then.
Yeah, I did it twice actually, because kind of like a year apart from each other. But I've shut them down every time I do it, because it's like the first time it was kind of just an experiment, I guess, because just like, all right, I've got like a handful of people watching, so I'm just like, we'll see what happens basically. So, but I went like way too overboard with it. I was like, okay, we got like a $1 tier. I got a $3 tier. I got a $5, $10, $20, and a $50 tier, and all these things. Like every single tier had like, a list like this large of like all these perks and whatnot. And I was just like, I can't do this. This is way too much. So then I was just like, you know what? All right, I'm getting rid of this. I just can't do it. And then the second time I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have all those rewards, but in one like, $3 tier or something like that.
Wow.
But then after like, a little bit of doing that, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to do Patreon really. It's not my thing really. It's like, I've kind of got like some other things I'm working on to kind of, worry about the money end of things. So I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to do the Patreon anymore. It's just like, I don't know, it's just not for me really. I'm not sure how to explain it really. I don't know, it just felt like a feeling. It's like, it's totally a me problem.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are giving me money and what I'm putting out for them as bonus isn't enough for that.
Wow. Really?
To a certain degree, yeah. It's kind of a weird thing, because it's just like at first, I'll be like, oh, it'll be a good idea to do. But then after that, I'm just like, and it's weird because like even one of the guys who was a part of it was just like, yeah, man, we're giving you like, a little tip just because we like what you do. But in my head, I'm just like, I don't feel right doing it. I don't like, even though like it was their decision, I still don't like taking money from people that are subscribed to me, even if I provide bonus stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. I'd rather just put that out for free on my second channel and just. It's a weird thing, really. I don't know
where you're coming from. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I mean, there's totally like tons of different fucking avenues you can go into. We were talking about like streaming and such too, and that's a really good medium, dude. If you want to make some money, like fucking stream as much as you can. Like I've done pretty okay on it. It's like mostly family members like sending me donations, but it's still nice. It's nice to know people actually like know I exist. That's kind of the thing about YouTube. I was curious if you'd ever like considered like doing like either like guitar covers on there or what. I mean, it would be in your brand, maybe like karaoke. I feel like karaoke would probably fit the best for that.
It's one of those things I've definitely thought about before, especially karaoke. It's like I actually had that kind of idea once before. It's just a technical thing though, because it's just like if it's gonna be let's say like, okay, it's karaoke night and it's like, all the vocals I sing tonight are going to be half step out of key or something like that.
Right.
It's a matter of trying to figure out how to get the viewers to listen to the song that's in the right key, but at the exact same time, get a version of it in my headphones that's a half a step down. So I'm, on par with what I'm doing, but
Yeah.
my microphone records just what I'm singing over top of like, the regular tune music. So it's just like, it's working out that technical aspect. I don't even know if that's possible. It's just
possible.
almost like different streams of audio going in and out. And also too, I definitely want to do that like when I'm not in a scenario of like, my landlord's living like directly above me, what I mean?
Built it
So
on
I'm
those
just
high
like-
notes.
Exactly. Yeah. So the last thing I want to do is do a really off-pitch take on me or some shit like that and just have them upstairs. And it's like, I'm friendly with them too, but just like, I don't want them being like, what's going on down there?
Yeah, totally, dude. I mean, that's the same shit. Like, I lived in an apartment, like, and I had like an electric kit set up, but like, they pretty much canceled me like right away. They're like, nah.
I went through that myself.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Because like they were complaining. They're like, yeah, it sounds like tiny hammers going off at like 1,000 decibels a second.
Yeah, I had that with my second week living here right after moving because it's just like because it was like I thought I knew the layout of their place like above me.
Yeah.
So it's just like I had my electric kit in my bedroom. So I was just like I thought that they're like where they were sleeping at 3 a.m. was right above where I am now. But it turns out that they're right above my bedroom. So I was just like, all right, it's 3 a.m. I'm just going to kind of just tap away on the drums for 10 minutes. And then next thing I know, I get a text in the morning.
Pretty much.
Hey, you were making a lot of noise downstairs. I'm just like, sorry.
Yeah, it sucks, man. That is the harsh reality of being a musician, man. Like, people just think you're annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I had that too. Like, I remember, like, I lived in a townhouse for a little while. And it's
wow.
like I had a real drum kit. And of course, it's just like I think I must have been like 16 at the time or something like that. And it's just like not necessarily. I don't want to say I wasn't aware of the fact that my neighbors would be able to hear me, but it's just I didn't think about it in the slightest.
Right.
So it's like literally just like play on the real drum kit for 10 minutes, and then next thing I know, my mom's coming home from work, just like. The neighbor yelled at me when I got in because it's like there's all this noise coming from downstairs and just like, oh, so that's just the harsh reality of being a musician, I guess. So it's like it's trying to nowadays just like do as much as you can through headphones or at least keep the volume at like a dull roar. So it's crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Yeah, I fucking miss it. Like, I grew up in, like, a really small town, so, like, I could just fucking blaze away on my drums for fucking hours, And then I moved to the big city, and I was just like, oh, this sucks,
Right.
Can't play my drums. My car got stolen.
What?
Yeah, my car got stolen, bro. And
story behind that one.
well, I just parked in the wrong place, and someone broke into some homeless people, like, broke into my car, and then...
Oh, yeah.
They drove it up the street and they ran out of gas and they just left it in the fucking street. And
oh, great.
Yeah, I couldn't afford to buy it back. And I don't know. It's a journey, dude. Like, I loved traveling and such, but I think I'm in the right place now. Like, I just grew up in a small place. Like, there wasn't a lot of opportunity.
Right.
Where'd you grow up? Was it like a city? Or?
It was kind of this same kind of thing where it's like it was a city, but it was a small city.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like actually, yeah, that's kind of what I did now. I basically lived there my whole life, and now I've moved just outside of Toronto, basically.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot bigger than what I'm used to, and like the people on the street aren't as friendly as they are in a small town. Yeah, so it's like it's just a different vibe, totally. But it's just like I don't know. It's just I don't regret it though. It's just like one of those things where just like, all right, I'm packing up and moving to a new city. It feels like a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah, totally.
But it's just like, I don't know, ever since like I've taken the plunge and kind of, I kind of got in the situation where it's like, all right, I'm able to get a place of my own now. And then kind of going back to what we mentioned before, I can just kind of make videos without bothering anybody. It's just like, it definitely makes it feel like it was worth it in the long run for sure.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I mean, invest in yourself as much as you can. Like, that was something I really needed to get over. Like, I was just like scared to put any money into like the stuff I really cared about, I don't know. Like, it took me a while to figure out what I even wanted to do, and it's still kind of like that for me. Like I do YouTube stuff, but like I try to study lighting as much as I can. I would like to do music videos. You know, you just kind of figure out what you want to do along the road, I guess. But yeah, dude, I know that you've definitely. So we were talking about that Star Wars film you made. Have you and your buddies? Because I know you made that shark one too, where like the sharks are flying in the air and they're biting people and shit. Have you had any other ideas for like short films and shit?
It's definitely something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of in line with what I talked about when it comes to, making the music that's like a really high quality sound.
Totally.
It's like I want it, it's just like it'll never happen, but it's like I would love it if I could have like, the budget of a Star Wars film or like a Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that.
Yeah.
But make it in that same realm. Maybe not necessarily with the awful, CGI sharks or something. But I would love it if I could just make something that, you could tell it's like, oh my God, the budget on this thing is ginormous, but just have the acting be atrocious. The plot literally make no sense.
The Room.
I was gonna mention The Room, but it's like exactly, but it's like whenever I mention The Room, it's like if you've seen it, it's like great, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, then it's just like, oh, okay. But yes, Mark. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. But exactly like The Room, but just with again like the budget of a Star Wars film or something like that. But it's like it's so hard though. It's like it's finding that fine line between something that's bad and makes people question like, is this legit?
Yeah.
And so bad to the point where it's just like, okay, it's bad basically. So it's like, it's like I wouldn't want to make like a Sharknado or something where you're just like, yeah, okay, you watch that and it was kind of made to be stupid.
Oh.
It's like I would love to make some. Yeah, it's
like
it's really hard to explain. Yeah.
I guess probably like Team America. Have you seen that movie?
I wanted to see it. I know the song, obviously.
I'm trying to think of another one. I don't know. There's just like goofy films, like ones that are. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, just something that like it makes people question. It's like this is so bad it's good, but were they legit or like I just more or less just to confuse people. But I really have a hard time imagining that there's anybody out there that would want to put a huge budget on something like that. But like I said, it'll never happen, but it's just like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, if I totally could though, I would love to, or it's like, or even on like a smaller scale.
Probably smaller
like,
scale. Want to start small.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I would love to do more stuff like that on my channel as well too. It's just like in line with the, the shark video and the Star Wars video and stuff like that. Cause I've wanted to make just a shitty horror movie.
Oh, really?
I've wanted to do that for like the past 4 years now. But it never seems to like pan out for some reason because it's like trying to film and I feel like a lot of it has to do with me not really knowing things like lighting or any of that kind of stuff because again I do want it to look as good as it can be but just have like the acting suck, the plot suck and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like I think what it always comes back down to is just not understanding the technical aspect of it and not having the patience to learn. I don't know, man. It's just like right now my lighting rig is like just 2 lights from AliExpress that were like $15 each. So I mean, it gets me by.
I wish I could say the same, but yeah, my lighting looks bad. But I'm learning too. I don't know, man. Like you just gotta be extreme about shit. Like that's what I've kind of learned. Like if you really want to get something done, like you really just have to like get fucking frustrated. Like learning my DAW was like, it was a lot of me just like, motherfucker, dude. Like I can't get this fucking thing to work. I can't get this to sound good. It's like, just keep doing it over and over and over again.
No, I feel like again, I've gotten to the point now where it's just like, you're kind of just grinding, especially too, because like I feel like when it comes to working like a full-time job and all that stuff, but it's like you got this, which you kind of got to do to survive, but then you got like, your goal that's up here that you would want to do, like, you got to get to that point where it's like, oh, I will be willing to do anything to reach that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many people out there though that are like, okay, you know what? I'm here right now. My goal is way up here.
Yeah.
That's too big. I can't do that. But I'm just like, I don't know. Just like deconstruct it into, daily steps. It's like you can't, just start here and then be here in one day. It's a constant grind, really.
Yeah, definitely. So when you did that channel beforehand, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was you and your buddies. And the direction was more of just like the band and such. It reminds me of me when I was a kid, dude, just like playing with my buddies and, you know, riffing and such. Was that more of a goal before YouTube? Did you want to be like a touring musician?
At the time, yeah, like it was that one was kind of a 50-50 for me, because it was always kind of like, you know, even to this day, it's still like what I would like to do. It's just like I don't want to, you know, pull a Joji and kind of give up YouTube to do music.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, I would love to do both. Like I still love doing both, but kind of the idea for that. And it's just like we had fun just kind of screwing around with it. And it's like kind of what I wanted to do with it. It was just like, you know, be a band that just like makes, you know, these stupid songs basically. But I also wanted to kind of us be YouTubers at the same time. Because we did a video where it was just like the 7-second challenge game, where it's basically just an app, and then it's just like it gives you a prompt and you have to complete a task within 7 seconds basically. So we did a video playing that game, and then I had the idea of doing ice bath karaoke, which to this day I'm still want to do that. I'm probably going to do it within the next couple months now. So it's like that's kind of what I wanted to do, is like be a band but also release like kind of I kind of these stupid, just like, you know, fun challenge games or whatever on YouTube. So it was kind of a mixture of both, to be honest. But it kind of just started with, I remember it was our guitar player and our singer. He just showed up to school one day. And the night before, he just asked me to join some Facebook group of his. And it was just like Death in a Black Hole. It was just like, yeah, so I saw you added me to some group. It's like, what was that about? He's like, oh, I'm going to start like a death metal band. Just cause. And it's just like, okay, it's like, can I be in on this?
Yeah, seriously.
So, and then I remember he was just like, all right, later that night, it's like, all right, so I wrote a metal riff. I'll send it to you and then we'll write a song through that. And it's like, I remember he just sent me like just a riff, but it wasn't even like a distorted guitar. It was just like the guitar, just direct DI basically.
Oh God.
And
just
yeah, he's just like, I got the metal tone. I'm just like, bro, that's not the metal tone at all.
That's peaking.
Yeah, exactly. But that kind of set the pace. So it's kind of like after that, where it's like, you know, let's just make a bunch of stupid songs for fun. And then I think after like a certain point, I'm just like, you know, we're having a good time together. Let's just, you know, just make videos together basically. And like, you know, that was like at the end of high school, and then kind of the end of that. Yeah, it's that people kind of go their own way, and I don't know, they've grown up, and I guess I haven't or something. I'm not really sure, but but no, yeah, it was always a good time. I know we've had a lot of talks about like, oh, it's, you know, try and make another album together or something like that, but I don't know, something always comes up and it never pans out. But I don't know, at least I, you know, look back upon it and be like, yeah, you know, it's just a good time, you know, just hanging out with my buddies back in high school, just making, you know, a bunch of dumb songs about nothing, essentially.
Well, what was smart about it too is you guys were starting a YouTube channel, and you were just basically attempting to market yourself. You know, like I think the best person to study for that is probably like Oliver Tree. You know, like he wears the same shit every video. The songs are kind of all really catchy, and yeah, it's just the way you market yourself, I guess. I got really into that for a while there.
For sure. I was gonna say that's one thing that I would like to like learn more about myself is like just personal branding and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because I definitely feel like that's an area that I could improve upon. And, you know, I feel like it really can like make or break, you know, kind of your whole, I guess, presentation of yourself, I guess, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not too sure. It's definitely something I want to work upon, though, in the future.
Yeah, same with my my thumbnails. I think that was one thing I felt really self-conscious about, like with YouTube. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Half the time I'm just like kind of winging it. I usually just reference someone else's and then use theirs. You know.
Same here.
Yeah, same shit.
Pretty much. Like I honestly I hate the thumbnails I make these days. With like the, you know, the pointy arrows and like, you know, it's just a giant, half the thumbnail is just you making a dumb face with like the white outline and all that shit. It's like, I hate that stuff. And it's just like, I remember the first time I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to, you know, it's like, that's what you kind of got to do these days. So I even remember putting in my description, oh, FYI, I apologize for this obnoxious thumbnail, because I'm just like, I hate the look so much. So it's just like, I don't know. Thumbnails is like my least favorite thing to work on. But yeah. Again, it's kind of the same. I just rip off other people for the most part.
yeah, and like marketing wise, like I was like, oh, maybe I should go for like a more like cartoony vibe. I don't know why I thought that. And then and the thumbnails just they looked like childish. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. I mean, you just gotta get your foot in the door, man. And
Yeah, for sure.
get that shit done. But all right, man. It was good having you on the podcast. I appreciate your time. Go ahead.
No worries.
Click all the links down below. Hit that shit up. Show your boy some support. And we'll check you next time.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Oh, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I meant to say that earlier, yeah, because I know we had to postpone a couple times, so it's just like, I was going to say that. It's like, oh, I totally forgot. But yes, happy belated birthday.
Oh shit.